Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning on this Monday morning in October for the 2023 Neustadt Lit Fest. It's a pleasure to have you joining us via Zoom this morning from all corners of the world for this exciting event sponsored by World Literature Today at the University of Oklahoma. I'm Lisa Pryor, the Zoom moderator for this year's Lit Fest, and once again, welcome. For those of you who are joining us via Zoom, we ask you to engage with us fully by taking control of your own viewing options. You may utilize the chat box for questions, and you are already on mute, and we thank you for staying on mute, but we do ask that you join us via your camera and smile. We'd love to see you on this Monday morning. As always, at the University of Oklahoma, we seek to foster inclusion in all of our events and happenings on our campus. So thanks again for engaging with us in this way. Feel free to rename yourself if you would like, and we're going to get started this morning with a very important land acknowledgement. Long before the University of Oklahoma was established, the land on which the university now resides was the traditional home of the Caddo Nation and Wichita and affiliated tribes. We acknowledge this territory once also served as a hunting ground, trade exchange point, and migration route for the Apache, Comanche, Kiowa, and Osage nations. Today, 39 tribal nations dwell in the state of Oklahoma as a result of settler and colonial policies that were designed to assimilate Native people. The University of Oklahoma recognizes the historical connection our university has with its Indigenous community. We acknowledge, honor, and respect the diverse Indigenous peoples connected to this land. We fully recognize, support, and advocate for the sovereign rights of all of Oklahoma's 39 tribal nations. This acknowledgement is aligned with our university's core value of creating a diverse and inclusive community. It is an institutional responsibility to recognize and acknowledge the people, culture, and history that make up our entire OU community. A quick word of thanks and acknowledgement again for our LitFest sponsors. Visit Norman, the Neustadt International Prize for Literature, the College of International Studies and Office of the Senior Vice President and Provost at the University of Oklahoma, the Colorado Academy, Green Feather Book Company, Norman Public Schools, the Neustadt family, and World Literature Today. Now for a welcome and introductions. Dr. R.C. Davis-Undiano, Kathy Neustadt, and Dr. Daniel Simon will welcome attendees and preview the 2023 Lit Fest.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Good morning, Norman. I thought there were some Norman Public Schools. Maybe they're not here. I didn't really hear that much. Let me try it again. Good morning, Norman. Especially the Norman Public Schools. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is a celebration of literature and culture from around the world. The culmination of this Lit Fest that we're starting today will be Wednesday night, and some of you will be there, and some of you will, I hope, watch online on Zoom. But in the program, it should be around 8 o'clock. We will give the NSK Neustadt Prize for Children's and Young Adult Literature to Gene Yang. He's somewhere in the audience. I'm not going to point him out yet because he'll be on later. In fact, he's camouflaged. But no, actually he's right here. He's not camouflaged at all. This prize program was begun in 1970. And the prize that we give to Gene Yang on Wednesday evening will be the 11th NSK prize. That's really kind of a big deal. These events are a living monument to the power of literature to enhance the understanding of culture worldwide. Now, something that's been kind of a hangover from the pandemic has been the Zoom part. So we have a pretty large Zoom audience out there. We'll probably reach anywhere between 30 and 40 different countries before this is over. So that is a wonderful part of what we're doing. One of those things where necessity was sort of the mother of invention, and we've kept that Zoom part going. Before we go any further, we have a distinguished guest. I'd like to now invite the president of the University of Oklahoma, Joe Harris, to give the welcome from the university.
Hello, I'm OU President Joe Harris. It's my honor to welcome you to this Neustadt Prize event sponsored by World Literature Today. At the University of Oklahoma, we are extremely proud of the Neustadt Prize program. Thanks to the Neustadt family, for over 5 decades, there have been Neustadt Prizes given on our campus and celebrated the world over. This tradition has been celebrated by the Swedish Academy that awards the Nobel Prize in Literature. The New York Times once noted that the Neustadt Prize is second only to the Nobel in terms of its global importance. As we turn to the next 50 years of the Neustadt Prize program, it's only fitting that this year's laureate is a writer of Jean Luen Yang's fame and renown. MacArthur Fellow, the Library of Congress's Ambassador for Young People's Literature, author of American-Born Chinese, now a Disney series, and many graphic novels. He is one of the most celebrated writers of his time. His innovative work and his support of students and fellow writers make him one of the people shaping the future of fiction and media around the world. In so many ways, the Neustadt Prize and its celebration of literary voices from across the globe embodies our fundamental purpose at OU, to change lives. We are grateful to the Neustadt family and World Literature Today for making this important tradition possible. We also thank the many Neustadt Prize winners who have contributed to the richness of literature and culture everywhere. We appreciate all of you who have joined us for this year's festival. Thank you.
He always nails it. He knows exactly what we do, and we appreciate him very much. What we're going to do this morning before we go to Jean Yang and Kelvin Yu is we're going to give you a brief overview of what's going to happen over the next 3 days. And to help with that, I want to welcome Dr. Daniel Simon, Editor-in-Chief of WLT and Assistant Director of the WLT Humanities Center and general mover and shaker on campus. It's just hard to keep up with all the wonderful things he does. Welcome, Daniel. And then Kathy Neustadt, to my immediate left, video news producer, friend, and benefactor of WLT. She and her sisters have sponsored so many wonderful programs for students at the University of Oklahoma. As I welcome her, I also want to welcome Nancy Barcelo, who's one of the sisters. Could you stand up and we can welcome both of you? So I'm going to move over here to a comfy chair. And so what we're going to do in just a few minutes here is give you an overview of what you'll see over the next few days. Daniel, what's caught your eye over the next 3 days?
Is this mic live? Okay. Thank you so much, RC. What's caught my eye just is what we saw behind us. Mildred Taylor, 20 years ago today, not today, but 20 years ago, the very first NSK Prize was awarded here at OU. Writers like Marilyn Nelson, whom you saw on the screen, Naomi Shihab Nye, now Jean Yang and others have really just brought this incredible energy to the Neustadt tradition. Of course, seeing pictures of Walter and Dottie Neustadt, I think really reminds us how dear they are to us as the original benefactors of the Neustadt Prize going back to 1970, and now Kathy, Nancy, and Susan being the benefactors for the NSK Prize for these past 20 years. It's just, to me, seeing those images really brings to me the importance, the importance of how these writers coming to campus and interacting with librarians and teachers and students from OU, from the high schools, and professors at OU as well, really has just brought an incredible energy to the work that we do at WLT and to my job working with the juries, et cetera, over the years. So just all of it, I'm just kind of always kind of in awe literary history in the making. And here we're all getting a chance to experience it once again today.
I think Daniel said a lot of important things. Okay, I'm going to take off of what he said and brag just a little bit. When we give these prizes, we make literary history. People all over the world will talk about it. It'll be on press releases in Tokyo and Berlin and so on. I mean, we're literally making literary history as we give these prizes. Kathy, what's caught your eye over the next few days?
Well, let me just thank you all for the nice introduction. And, you know, my mom just passed away in May. She was 95. Our dad died 13 years ago, but this was the apple of their eye. I think seeing the tradition carried on by my sisters and myself is a big honor for us. And I know the tradition that they envisioned has come to fruition with the help of WLT and RC and Daniel. So we're very happy to be here to continue this. Really excited to honor Jean for the next couple of days. And what's caught my eye and what I'm the most excited about, and I did see that you all named it the Neustadt Night at the Museum, which is a little ominous because, you know, we think like the art will come alive and we'll see Teddy Roosevelt on a horse riding through the museum. But that's what I'm most excited about. That's where we get to hear the jurors work. I get to announce the winner, which of the 2024 Neustadt Prize for Literature, which I love to do and I'm very excited for. So I'm most excited for that and equally as excited to hear from Jean and both of you for being here and excited for the next couple of days.
One last thing on this part of it. There's another member of the Neustadt family here, Sam Barcelo. Sam, could you stand up and let us recognize you?